Heyo, Globku here with Sony's press conference summary. It was probably the shortest press conference this year, but had a lot of games in it. The downside is that we didn't get a lot of explanations as to what a lot of these games are, they just kinda let the gameplay talk for itself. Also worth noting is the fact that the whole soundtrack for the press conference, both when the games were being shown and when they were not, was played by a live orchestra, which was kind of epic. But let's talk about the games. The show opener was God of War, which apparently they're rebooting the name. According to the rumors, this one covers Norse mythology instead of Greek, and the gameplay does seem to support that. This time you play from a third-person action camera, but a lot of the God of War combat elements are still present and recognizable. The demo has you training a kid on hunting, and at some point, you get attacked by a troll. The game looks to be very open-ended, potentially even open world. We'll keep an eye out for updates as E3 develops. But the whole game has a different tone when compared to the previous God of War games. They showed a gameplay trailer for The Last Guardian, which still looks good, but the big thing to take away from this segment is the release date. The Last Guardian will come out on October 25th this year. Horizon Zero Dawn had a really good gameplay demo as well. It showed us hunting, a little bit of resource gathering and crafting, showed us mounts and mounted combat, and how scanning can help you detect different creatures' weaknesses. This is still one of my most expected games. Detroit Become Human came up next. This is a game by Quantic Dream, and much like their previous titles, it's a narrative game about choice. The demo focused on showing us how many different paths we could take to tackle a very specific scenario, and it had an impressive number of choices. I just hope these choices actually have a significant impact on the overall story, because that's where I feel Quantic Dream games have been kinda disappointing. What started out as an announcement for a PlayStation VR title turned out to be Resident Evil 7, which will not only be available in VR, but also on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. It's a first-person horror game, which is not really how the Resident Evil games usually are, and the PlayStation Store will have a demo available to download tonight if you want to check the game out. This naturally segued the conversation into PlayStation VR, which got a USA release date, October 13th, and the confirmation of its price at $399. This is obviously without the required PlayStation camera or the Move controllers, which they have yet to announce a bundle for that. Sean Layden has said that they'll have more than 50 games out on PlayStation VR until the end of the year, which is an impressive number. 3 of those games were showcased in the press conference without much explanation. Farpoint, which seems to be a first-person shooter on an alien planet, Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing VR Mission, which looks like an X-Wing dogfight game in VR, and Batman Arkham VR by Rocksteady, and this one we know absolutely nothing about, except that it's coming out in October this year and it's a PlayStation VR exclusive. Final Fantasy XV took the stage next with a funny, silly trailer of random gameplay moments, followed by the announcement of Final Fantasy XV VR Experience, which seems to be a first-person shooter where you play as one of the Final Fantasy XV characters. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare showed us a good chunk of their single-player campaign in space. It plays around with the notion of gravity in a couple of interesting ways, and everything just looks amazing with a high production level that we've gotten used to with the Call of Duty games, and honestly just take for granted nowadays. They also showed Modern Warfare Remastered, thank you for reminding me why everyone was so pissed off at Infinite Warfare, jerks, which is still only available for those who purchase Infinite Warfare, but the Modern Warfare campaign will be available on PS4 30 days early. Big announcement came up next, the deal that we thought was never going to happen actually came true. Crash Bandicoot is coming to PS4, not with a new game, but 3 games remastered. The original Crash Bandicoot, Crash 2 and Crash Warped. They didn't show any of it, just made the announcement and transitioned over to Skylanders Imaginators, which has Crash as a playable character. Imaginators also let you create your own characters, and that seems to be the big thing about this game. It will come out in October this year. Not much to say about LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, as the game comes out in 2 weeks and we pretty much already know everything about it. They just showed a gameplay trailer and it was a good excuse for the orchestra to play some more Star Wars music. But they have released a demo on PlayStation, so you can try the game now before it comes out. The legend himself came out on stage next, Hideo Kojima, with 2 very simple and very strong words.
I'm back!
He showed the first game on Kojima Productions, or rather a CG trailer of it, which, as expected, is all sorts of weird and we don't really know what to make of it, except that it's got Norman Reedus. Can't wait to see more updates. Another big announcement followed, as the rumors would have it Insomniac Games is developing a Spider-Man game. Don't know if it has a title yet or if it's just called Spider-Man, but the footage looked really good. And the show closer was a game called Days Gone. Days Gone was actually the second game to show up on this press conference with a cinematic trailer that left us with a lot of questions. The main one being, what the hell is this game? Well, they closed the show with a good gameplay segment that shows us exactly what it is. A third-person action game in a zombie apocalypse. Sounds generic? Because it is. But I found the technology showcased in this demo to be really impressive. A huge number of zombies on screen at all times, the AI trying to corner you when climbing buildings in ways that we're not used to seeing zombies behave in video games, and the environment reacting to their weight or the explosionings happening all around. It was all very impressive, and it all seems to be pretty dynamic, as in not scripted at all, as it is an open world game and you could potentially run anywhere to avoid the zombies. Pretty interesting stuff. And that was it for the Sony press conference. It was really all about the games, had some really good announcements and games I really want to know more about. What about you guys? What was your favorite moment at Sony's press conference, and how many of these games are you looking forward to? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. While you're down there, click the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to DGN if you haven't already. I've been Golku, thank you for watching, bye.